Welcome to Fly Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and maximize your money. Welcome to Fly Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and maximize your money. Today, we're talking about a rising trend on college campuses. Students are turning to OnlyFans as a way to earn money. Financial pressure, rising tuition, and the need for a flexible income are driving more young people to digital content creating. Now, back in the 90s, some women found ways to make money while in school that often involved riskier or less structured paths. But today's platforms like OnlyFans offer a more controlled and potentially safer route. But the question still remains, is it sustainable? Does it truly support long-term financial growth? And what does it teach about autonomy, entrepreneurship, and navigating money in a digital age? We're breaking it all down today with my panel. We have Queens and a King. We have Marlo Layson, TV film producer, Dr. Sabrina Williams, author, investor, and educator specializing in wealth transition, and also Joe Corley, our licensed therapist and mental wellness coach. We have Tiara Williams, our producer and actress, and also vocalist. And then you have the little crazy me. You're singing what am I? I am the singing international real estate agent, Lala. Can you tell I'm a little tongue-tied today? Because Monday is here, y'all. Monday is here. We have a beautiful, beautiful panel. But listen, first, I want to ask a question of all of you before we start into this. Have you ever even considered OnlyFans as a way to make extra money? I'm going to say, yeah, I thought about doing feet. I'm going to say, yeah, but I'm going to start with you, Tiara. Have you ever thought about it?
After producing this show, yep, I did. I thought about it. Yes, the answer to that is I've thought about it, but yeah, no.
Yeah, I can't either. I don't think I can live. My mother would come and get me. Oh, they did. What about you, Marlo?
For research purposes, I actually had an OnlyFans account, but once the pandemic hit and the girlies were at home and they needed money, I got out of Dodge. We could talk about it later.
Oh, this is gonna be a juicy one today. All right, Joe. Now listen, I know men are on there too because they're putting a lot of thirst traps out there for women as well. Have you ever thought about it?
I'm thinking about it right now. Show me the way. Show me what the possibilities are.
Dr. Sabrina, how about you?
I haven't. I'm not sure that there's a market for what I have to share on OnlyFans. So I hadn't really thought about it, but I'm like Joe. I'm open. I'm here to learn.
Hey, listen, I'm into everything right now. What we got going on? We have a couple of people, our family in the audience. Double A says, I think we all may have thought about it in some point in time. And I think we're just being very honest. So let's kick it off with this young lady's video so that we can start into this conversation. Check this out.
Hold on, so you're telling me college students right now are turning to OnlyFans to cover the rising cost of tuition? This is crazy. Wait, don't scroll, pay attention. Listen to this. And look, I'm not making this up. You can literally look this up online. This is an actual thing. Look. You guys are college students, right? College students. Some people that has the OF, they really cashing out on some checks like this, okay? I get it. Let's be real. You can't expect to hit Sophie Ray numbers. And also, I do understand, there's college debt. You want to get out of that. You want to finish college not having no type of debt. But it's not a good thing to start something like that in college, It's so saturated. So, like, you can't just expect to make, like I said, Sophie Rain numbers just like that. And plus, it's not a good look on you, you know what I mean? Let's say future careers, future jobs you can have for yourself. They're going to look at that stuff, look at your background, and you most likely would not get hired, or you won't be able to pursue a career you actually want to do. Now, I know it's to try to get quick cash, but there's other ways to do it, because not only that, you got to build a following for yourself. You got to do all of that, and that takes time. Leave down in the comments what you guys think about this. This is crazy.
It's really interesting that he did bring that up. You have to worry about job positions and things of that nature, because do you guys remember in this last year when the Freaknik thing was going to come out and people were freaking out because they were like, we're going to see our grandmamas on that, because we grew up in an age where that video thing was fairly new. At that time, not much of it was being put out there. And then people were like, oh my God, I was in that. So the mentality is now different. These people are embracing that. They're not worried about ramifications. So, I'm going to start with you, Marlo. Why do you think students are specifically turning to OnlyFans for income?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like subscription based is harder, right? Like OnlyFans is subscription based. So the algorithm is, can they find your subscription based platform based on what OnlyFans is showing at the top of the screen at a given time? So I don't know that this is much easier unless you just have a niche product that everybody has to have, or unless you have another backdoor potential business that you are pursuing, and you can drive people to your OnlyFans for more content. But I think it's really hard to do subscription based. I think a lot of people have fallen off. OnlyFans and Pantheon are the same, right? But the 90% of Pantheon content is not sexual, while OnlyFans, 90% of their stuff is sexual. So I don't think it would be very easy. Shout out to them for even trying, because it's a hard world to get people to subscribe for $5.99 a month for your whatever you got going on with your goodies.
Baby, I can tell you that just from the music side, just getting people to see that music ain't free. You can't even get to pay $1 no more. Like, we could just listen to it free on Spotify. Meanwhile, Spotify CEOs are racking it up, right? So, Tiara, how do you think that financial pressures are affecting these young women to drive them to do more digital content creation?
Well, I just think we live in a digital world, right? So people are just, the world is so different. I mean, when we were younger, we was Players Club was like, don't make the money, women were stripping to pay to get through school, right? So I don't know if there's a difference. I mean, I guess when I was writing this, I was thinking like, I guess OnlyFans is more cost efficient, but it's harder because women can just go in a strip club. Now, you asked about the pressure. It's so interesting because of where we live in a world that's so upside down, right? You can be a convict and be the president. You can be a scammer and celebrate it. Like everything that's bad is good and good is bad. So Cardi B was at the White House speaking on Joe Biden's behalf. I mean, what are we? And she was a stripper, right? So I think the world is way different. And we're talking about, I know he mentioned in the video, like, what about when you need a job later on? I don't know if that'll affect. And then we have to think about, you're asking like, in terms of employment, people aren't able to find jobs. We found that out last week. All week I produced shows on like how hard it is for Black people to find jobs. And I think digital is the next best thing, where people are like, okay, if I can't make money this way, let me hop online and get on the online trend like everybody else.
I find it very interesting that we are living in a world of such contradiction. And I'm going to direct this at you, Joe, because you hear so much now. You're a Christian, and you're nationalist and blah blah blah, and ladies need to not be doing this and that and this, and then still yet somebody's funding all of this. Somebody's closet is full of money, and they're going ting ting ting. How do we cope with the contradictions of this when we know somebody's paying these young ladies? How is it that they can get this in their mind that it's still okay to do this and still be on the left-hand side, somebody's going, no, 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 but somebody on the right's going, ching, ching, ching.
Yeah, that's all personal, right? Like you have to really dig into yourself when you're thinking about these type of things. A lot of people point fingers outward when they really are pointing fingers inward. So, how do we cope? I mean, we got to just really deal with a lot of the cultural double standards that we live with, especially when it comes to gender. Like male creators, you know, they may receive like curiosity or even admiration for their hustle, but if a woman hustles what she got, there's a heavier moral judgment for how she's moving and how she's hustling and the things that she has to offer. And then we also have double standards in race and culture, and it just creates like a unique standpoint from how we're viewing things, and making people are kind of putting guilt and shame on people and fear of rejection from their families and their communities when nobody should be in judgment, especially if you read that little book that y'all keep throwing and thumping at people. It says in there, it says in there that you are not the judge, you're not the final say, you don't have the final word. But I mean, right now, we're not even close to even honoring, like, there's no point in being a good person, because we are idolizing demons right now. They the ones they the ones getting lifted up, but they're hiding behind all their little Christian values and all these other things. And don't get me started, man.
No, Joe, I think you're right on target. I have to be very honest with you guys. My husband and I had this conversation over coffee this morning. I am thoroughly depressed and upset about how the world we're living in right now. And I can see why these young ladies are like, fuck it. We're going to do what we need to do to make this live. And that's what they're saying. That is what they're saying. If they're going to go down, they're going to go down the way they want to go down.
Comfortably.
And yeah, right. So I think that we're all kind of, well, I can't speak for everybody. I just know that me and my household, we shake our head every day and we start thinking, are we being a light into the world? Because that is one of my goals, is to be a light, even if it just makes someone smile by me laughing that day. But Dr. Sabrina, how do you think that this trend affects students long term when it comes to financial planning?
I don't know that I don't know that there's a lot of thought about the planning part of it. I think we're in a state where people are just trying to survive. They're if you're dropping out of college, or you're at a point where you feel like I gotta go literally either sell my body, show my body, or do something for money. I mean, you're not thinking about planning. You literally are in survival mode at that point. And so, that is something that is very concerning, because, here on Fly Nubian Money, we are challenging people to think about not just getting the bag, but how do you keep the bag? So you go over to OnlyFans or wherever you go. Remember back in Players Club, back in our day, it was like, you got to have a plan for that money. You got to have some thought, put some thought into what you're trying to accomplish with this money. And right now, unfortunately, because we do live in such a crazy world, the thought is survival.
And a lot of them are saying, while I got it, I'm going to use it. Right? Because we all know aging ain't nothing ugly, not to me, but a lot of people don't want to do it. So why not use it when we're in the highlight of where we are? I love that. I love that when you just put that up, Tiara. I love that comment. Before we go into commercial, I definitely want to put that up again. Financial planning. What about the soul and the mental? Yeah, because we talk a lot about mind, body, and spirit here. We're going to take a short break because this obviously is going to be a very good conversation. We'll be right back.
It's a good show right here.
but I'm biased. If you are just tuning in, you are watching Fly Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and maximize your money. My name is Tiara Williams. I'm also known as Miss Black Hollywood, and I'm the proud producer of this show because it is lit. If you want to receive notifications for when we go live Monday through Friday, 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All you have to do is text the word Queens to 87948. That's Queens to 87948. That's QUEENS to 87948. Also, if you want to grow your money and not blow your money, all you have to do is go to flynubianmoney.com. There's all kinds of resources, there's courses, there's free giveaways. There's just no reason to be broke in 2025. All you have to do is go to flynubianmoney.com. Obviously, you don't want to be entertained here. You want to know enough to grow. Wait, I need to put that on a shirt. You got to know to grow. Got to know to grow. So know and grow.
I've never been happy. That's the reality of it. It's like literally Friday. I'm in my senior year now. I have literally 4 months left. I just started a week ago and I had a whole breakdown because I was like, I cannot do this no more. Like, especially when I'm coming to the end of this, I really sat down and I was like, what do I want this degree for? What do I need this degree for? What would this degree do for me? And when I get out of college, will I even use this shit? No, it's kind of unhealthy because I started the school year off, freshman year, 140. You want to guess how much I weigh now? 111. My hairline was right here. And this is all just stress from being in school and like that being the only thing in my life. It was so hard the first day of school because the only thing you're doing is introducing yourself. And I would cry in my car and cry when I come home every day that week because I didn't know what to put. I just had to keep lying because I don't have any interests. I don't have any hobbies. I don't have any dreams, no wants. I don't have any goals in life because I don't have a life. My life was going to school, being a good daughter. See, the thing is, I'm also a friend. I'm one friend. And that one friend is my roommate, who is also an OnlyFans model. And, it's fine when somebody else's child does it, but when your child does it, absolutely not. This is why I didn't tell her about literally anything I'm about to do. Because I'm going to see the reactions, right? My brother is going to be like, you're done for quitting when you're almost done. My sister's going to try to find some compromise because she's always on my side. And then you got my mom who's going to bite my head off. And then you got my stepdad who's just going to be like, no. I have been like on this path for so long and I just finally looked down and I realized, oh my God, I'm standing on somebody else's road right now. Like I've been on this long ass journey for like what feels like a quarter of my life, more than half of my life, without no real destination in sight and just going along with what literally anybody puts in front of me. And I'm not okay with that no more. So I definitely quit college. When I walked out that building, like I had noticed there was stuff at the university that I didn't even get a chance to see in the 5 years that I have been there. Because I was just so focused on getting to point A to point B. And so I actually stopped to smell the roses. I went to this little park on campus and then I did like a kind of a bucket list of things to do before I drop out. And I just like went to like all the places and then took like a lot of pictures and then sent them to my bestie to just commemorate today. Because I've never felt this happy. When I walked out that building, it was like I finally felt like myself again. I felt free. And I wouldn't need to sit through a Taylor Swift class ever again.
Joe, that video just makes me sad, okay? Because she claims to be happy. This doesn't look like happiness. She said herself she hasn't enjoyed life the whole 5 years that she's been at college. Mentally, where do you think our children are in this part where she broke it down how her family's going to respond? She knows how they're going to respond. She's not happy now. Do you think that she's going to find happiness in this new journey that she's getting ready to take?
Who knows? I doubt it. You got to think that this generation that is existing right now, they grew up in the hustle culture, right? Grind now, so you can shine not only now but shine later as well. And work, and the only way to get money is to constantly be working. If you're not earning, then you're basically failing or falling behind. So, what does this lead to? Nobody is speaking of the journey that happens when you go to, yes, there are some things that, is a waste of time for some people to go to college. But there are a lot of things, benefits for some people who go to college, and no one talks about that journey, whether it's college or whatever your education process is. So the spotlight is on the shine, and it's not on the journey. So if you're not earning, you feel like a failure and you feel burnt out. You start having identity conflicts. There's all this pressure to perform and be an online persona versus being who you really are. You get emotionally exhausted, and you're constantly like marketing yourself and monitoring your likes and your subscribers and all of these things that's just causing you anxiety. Man, and it's all a trap. It's all a trap. Everybody's just chasing money, and they're trying to, escape the scarcity or the fear of like being not even broke, but looking broke. Because all these people are actually broke. I mean, not all of them, but a lot of them they're actually broke, but they don't look broke, so they win it. You understand what I'm saying?
I do, especially in LA, and the fact that so many people will roll up on my office ready to buy a house in these rented, millionaire cars and decked out, and you get in there and they have absolutely nothing. They're living in a house with 20 other people. They only have that one suit that they leased that week. It's all about appearances outside of that when their reality is totally different, and that concerns me about this young lady, and I worry about her as a human, as a mama bear. I want to go and hug her and be like, no baby, this ain't the way, but you can't tell them when they have their way set. She's looking at her roommate who's on OnlyFans more than listening to what others are probably trying to guide her to do. But Marlo, you've done research on this. You know about a little bit about OnlyFans. But in what ways is this different from the risky ways that women did in the 90s? Like, with the Freakniks, with the what's the other one that they did? Because I don't know none of this world. Today's the first I even know pulled up OnlyFans. So
it's not much different at all. I mean, if you know the level of like cyber criminal that's out there, it's very easy for them to figure out where you are, even if you have location services on, right? There are a couple TikTok accounts that I follow, and this guy can literally zoom in on stuff in the background, figure out your coordinates, and figure out where you are. People send him videos to try and see if he can figure out where in the world certain people are. And so he does it to let you know that the possibility is there so that you can move as safely as possible. But the reality is these women are not safe, right? A lot of times people and men that are in these spaces, a lot of times people will move offline, right? So if you have a subscriber that's sending you a lot of money and they buying all your gifts and they clearing your Amazon card and all this other stuff that people list in their bios on these types of platforms, if you have these really stellar fans, a lot of people will blur the line between being online and virtual relationships to being in person, because sometimes people will promise lots of money for the in-person meetups. And even if you do events like the high popular girls that are in the 0.1 percentile of earners, when she goes out and does events, she is not safe. I'm sure she has a lot of security when she does different cons and different social media events to plug herself and to plug her to promote her platforms. It is not safe. And I think the way that the promotion has changed, right? Not so much player club. Now you can have the players club in your bedroom virtually, but you still have people that can access you. You still have people that can find your social media accounts where you're active with friends and family. These women do get doxxed, and men have been doxxed on these platforms where their addresses and their families and their jobs have been released. So the dangers are different because the medium is different, but the dangers are not non-existent for sure.
it's really scary when you think about that. I had a stalker when I was on Periscope, and I would sing a lot on Periscope. And if I didn't sing a song that he wanted me to sing, he would blast me with the most awful things. And because I'm a real estate agent, he knew where my office was. And then I would block him. He would create another account. It's really, really easy for people to have access to your information digitally. And it concerns me about these young ladies and young men as well, because listen, if somebody wants at you, they can truly get at you. Because I follow those type of accounts that you're talking about as well, Marlo, where they show you, I can find you like that. And it's some scary stuff. But let's check a couple of stats out. And we'll get back into this conversation because these stats are really enlightening. There are challenges faced, and we're only going to talk about OnlyFans, okay? So these stats come from OnlyFans. 67% of Black creators report experiencing racism or discrimination on the platform, and 54% believe algorithmic bias affects their visibility and earning. Yes, that tongue is working today. Income potential. Among Black OnlyFans creators, 71% report earning over $1,000 per month. That's not a lot, y'all, with 21% earning more than $5,000 monthly. And performance dynamics. The top 1% of OnlyFans creators earns 33% of the platform's total revenue, highlighting the disparities in income distribution. So before we go to this commercial, I want you to start thinking, this is a young Black woman. Just because certain people are making a certain amount of money on there doesn't mean that that's a space for us. Also, it seems like wherever we go, people want everything that we want. But when it comes to us getting what we deserve, there's always bias and racism. So we're going to take a commercial break and we're going to come back and talk about this. We'll be right back.
I know you're busy, you got things to do, and you can't take us on the go with you every single day. Good news for you. We are now on Spotify. So if you can't watch us, now you can listen to us on Spotify. Search Fly Nubian Money and all the episodes shall appear. All you have to do is like, subscribe, leave a 5-star rating, leave some comments, tell people how you love us so that when other people come along and are looking for a great show to watch, they can find Fly Nubian Money too. One last thing, and just in case you've been sitting under a rock, Fly Nubian Money now has an investment club. We are the Fly Nubian Money Club. It's easy. All you have to do is go to flynubianmoneyclub.com, and I am committed to bringing in top experts from all industries to help you level up. They're teaching us the skills that we need to compete in this market. We often say that nobody is coming to save us, not the government, but guess what? We're coming to save us. I'm coming to save you with the Fly Nubian Money Club. So listen, all you have to do again is go to flynubianmoneyclub.com. We have a 30-day free trial set up just for you, just for those people that are struggling. Even if you ain't struggling, you ain't got to struggle. I'm coming. Okay, let me stop playing. I'll see you soon.
Yes, you know where to go. We're telling you what to do so you don't have to create an OnlyFans account. I'm just trying to say, there are free ways to up your skills. Dr. Sabrina, I do want to ask you, what skills do you think that students can gain through this type of content creation or any type of content creation that can transfer into entrepreneurship?
Patience. Patience, because it doesn't happen overnight. Not for everybody. I mean, we just showed the stat. It takes time. Everybody is not going to be on there, making 10 grand a month or 100 grand a month. That's just the reality. And that's the same way it is in business for all of us. It's something that has to be built. You look at the number of businesses that are created every day. People go into business. You give them 6 months, they're out of business. You give them 12 months more out of business. Lord have mercy, 18 months to 3 years. You can't find anybody, because this is a game that is not for the faint at heart. You have to be willing to stick to it, stick through it. And maybe even that's a message that can be given to some of our college students that are experiencing the burnout and getting tired when you get to the end. I remember I went through that. Honestly, I'm gonna be 100% transparent. When I got toward the end of my doctoral program, there was a time when I just felt like totally overwhelmed. I had a small child. I had just bought my first home. I was literally commuting about 2 hours to school. And I called one of my research partners and I was like, look, I'm good. I got my master's. I'm good. I can do this. And, he said something to me that I carried with me for a while. He says, you know what? He says, those student loans, they have to be repaid whether you get the degree or not. Ain't nobody asking, did you finish? We're only going to collect if you finish. No. When you accepted that money, you made a commitment to pay it back whether you finish or not. So you may as well go ahead and finish that degree, because maybe that might make it a little bit easier and position you to go get that, the job, the employment that will help you. But I would say just understanding that nothing happens like instantly. It has to be built, whether it's on OnlyFans or not.
That's right, because honey, Uncle Sam and them people, them debt you owe, they don't care where you get it from. Just give us our money, right? Tiara, I know that you wanted to say something about the stats that we just looked at, and I would love to hear your thoughts on those.
Actually, I wanted to add to the video that we watched with the young lady. Um, I was just thinking when I first watched that, in the first minute, I realized that the first 30 seconds, I saw that there was a bit of a mental illness in terms of like just anxiety or depression. Like I saw that immediately. Just heard the language. I don't have an interest in anything. And there's part of me that feels like, what was her parents doing? Like, where are her parents if they're not listening? If I heard it in the first minute, I just wonder if as parents we're paying attention to our children. Like this could have been something that I think about my own daughter, and if she's saying, because what she's saying is I have senioritis right now, like it's the last 4 months is home stretch and I'm tired. I am beyond tired. Well, let's figure it out. Like if you need to just go out and smell the roses, let's do that on the weekends and manage your time in a way where you can have some balance and still be refreshed and not feel overwhelmed and all the things that come along with being a senior. So I just wonder, because almost like if you thank God it was OnlyFans and it wasn't death that she was talking about, because I assume the way she was sounding is like I'm over life, like not like I'm over life, but thank God it was like I'm leaving this and I'm going to OnlyFans, because I assume that when a person decides to do the more extreme thing, it's like I'm gonna go smell the roses and then it's gonna be over. You know what I mean? Like it was given that same kind of energy to me. I don't know if y'all noticed that, but either way, it feels like something I feel like her parents could have caught and potentially like protected her from.
I felt that way too. It felt heavy to me.
Yeah.
Some people may not believe in being an empath, but I do. I can suck up people's energy. I can see it very easily, and I can feel it in my body. And watching her, my body did not feel good. It felt heavy, and I was concerned about that young lady. So Joe, listen, all this is a part of social media, right? OnlyFans is a part of social media. So how does this social media impact the mentality of success when these kids seem to always want to be doing what the Joneses are doing? How does this affect our kids mentally?
Yeah, just like I said, it's a lot of pressure, right, to keep up with the Joneses, as you just spoke. So when they see this, we live again in a culture, in a hustle culture, right? And everybody wants to keep up, and we are lifting up things that aren't necessarily authentic. So we're striving or pushing our kids to go in directions that are not authentic to them, but because it's popular, we're monitoring our likes, we're monitoring our subscribers, our followers, and things like that. We have to go with trends, and trends don't necessarily equal authenticity. So where if you are here and this is the authentic version of you and this is the mask you're being forced to wear to in order to make money and keep up, the further these two things get apart, the more room there is for depression and anxiety, just like Tierra noted in that young lady. The only way that we can heal that is to get these. Now, some people are authentically living the way they want to live. They live in the way they want to live, and you can't be mad at them for doing that. If you're on OnlyFans and this is authentically how you want to live and you're at peace, then that's what you're supposed to be doing, right? No judgment, no nothing. You're at peace. But if you are doing what you got to do and is not in alignment with who you are as a person, there's where my problem is. So that's how we're impacted.
And I think that shows so much. Like Black Lexicon said, really, and I know he's referring to me. You really care like that? I do. My husband gets on me quite a bit for that.
I think he's talking about this lady asking, do any of the panelists believe sex work is work? And I
I
think
missed
that
that one.
yeah, yeah, yeah. To answer your question, Sharita, like I think a lot of us can just say we are extremely open-minded. Like just as a journalist, like I can see, and just a Gemini, I think I can see all sides of a thing. Like my mind can just be open to the way that people have to live their lives without judgment, with saying like, okay, I could see that. But I don't know if this young lady needs to go to sex work. It's like, why are you deciding to do that? Like, what in you is saying like, oh, my friend is making $500 a month. It might not be that much money that her friend is making. We've learned that people ain't making what the point one. It's not enough to make you can do Uber and make the amount of money that her friend is probably making. But she's saying she's making money, $500 a month or $500 a week or whatever it is. I could go for something like that right now, and deciding her whole life based off of 500, $1,000. I just, so anyway, does anyone else, I don't know if sex work is
I,
a
I think
necessity.
listen, if you are engaging in sex work because that's what you want to do, that's what you need to do, then obviously it's work. Somebody we'll uphold any other kind of work as long as people get money. The minute we get to sex work, we kind of want to get prudish. And I just say, if that's what you want to do, are you being safe? I wish you the very best, because it's not an easy way to make a living. I cannot imagine it, but it can't be easy, right? But I think also we have been in a slippery slope in this culture in America for so many years. And so for us to arrive at college students wanting to drop out because of OnlyFans, I think everybody on the panel has said it. Joe has addressed it. Tiara has addressed it. We're in a very odd place where it's like bizarro world. It's upside down world. What's right is wrong. Good is bad. As long as we get in the money. And I think that until we change the language around this made up thing called capitalism. It's not that old, y'all. It's not as old as the planet. People haven't always been engaging in capitalism. I think as long as we keep this language up, that is a refresher on keeping up with the Joneses, right? As long as we're in that mode, there's always going to be something different. I think that prostitution as it lived, or sex work as it existed before, we didn't have to see it, right? If you didn't go on your side of town, if you didn't go on the strip, then you didn't have to even acknowledge that it existed. The difference is now you could be scrolling on Instagram, see a girl with a bikini on, and she telling you follow her on OnlyFans, right? Or come get 5 days free on OnlyFans. So now it's coming to us in all of these digital spaces, and I think people feel a little bit whatever about it. That's what my project was about. It was about sex work, and I was trying to figure out if I wanted to do something that was scripted or unscripted related to sex work and how our views about that have changed. But I just think that people need to be safe. People need to not be illusioned. People need to be clear-eyed. If you want to do it, go for it. Knock yourself out. It's a whole hell of a lot of work. And I hope that you do well at it, but don't be disillusioned thinking all your problems gonna go away because you out here showing a little butt crack, little hoo-ha, right? Because it's not. It just opens up a whole new can of problems for people. And I hope that that young lady understands that while she is running from the degree and whatever her parents wanted her to be, because it doesn't seem like this path that she's been on, like Joe said, is her authentic path. Good luck, girl, because it's a jungle out there in those streets of trying to get people to subscribe to your content.
Agree. Let's check out a couple more stats and because this is a really good topic, and I love that people are talking to us. We consider you family in the comments, so I want you to know that. Sharita, one thing I do want to address to you is to let you know that here on Fly Nubian, you're going to get everybody's view. We don't judge anyone, and we really care about our Black community. So if you're new to the channel, welcome to the family. But please know, yes, you're going to get all opinions here. Let's check out these stats.
But sometimes we judge though, Sharita. I ain't gonna front. Like
I
it's
try
it's
not to, Sharita.
it's,
What?
it's we sometimes it's gonna happen.
A 2020, a 2025 Indiana University study found digital content creation is the most common side hustle among U.S. college students. And many students cite financial pressure, student debt, and flexible income as primary motivators. Psychologists say this trend reflects a generational shift toward autonomy, self employment, and alternative income streams. I definitely want to get into that, but it's time for us to take a quick breath and a little bit of a commercial. Yeah, because this is good stuff, right? Stick around. We'll be right back.
Are you a Black business owner looking to expand your reach? Well, has Fly Nubian Money got good news for you? We are building a Black business directory to connect you with customers who need your services. And here is the best part. It is absolutely free. Email us at info@realvirtual.net. Send us your business name. Tell us a little bit about what you do, what services you offer, your website address, and your contact information. That's it. Together, we are going to build and circulate the Black dollar. Get listed today and start connecting with people who are probably already looking for you.
I have to come back to you, Marlo, because I know that you have done this research, you've talked about this research, and you are talking about have our ideas changed around this. I would love to hear a little bit more about what you found in your research.
Well, I found there's a whole different language, and I wasn't just on OnlyFans. There are a couple of other sites that are free and subscriber and some kind of mix of both. And I find that one, if you do, that's what I'm saying, if these women do this kind of work, if people support your page, if they support your mission, if they give you a tip, if they subscribe, whatever the case may be, there is a little bit of feeling of ownership, right? So people become more demanding. People, you can have your boundaries set. I don't do this. I don't do this. This is a feed only channel. Whatever you got going on, people are still going to push those boundaries. People are still going to try to chat with you and get you into other spaces, right? Try to get to know you, get your phone number. It is a wild place to be in these internet sex areas, right? Where sex is the expectation. It's not like, Facebook or OG Twitter, where you might encounter some sex in your scroll. These platforms are designed for that. And I think that there is a market for it, because if there weren't, the platforms would have been shut down, right? So the fact that there's a market for it, I think that we have a lot of judgment for the people that provide the product, but we're not really examining the people that are keeping up with the product, right? So there's two conversations here. One is about, girl, everybody ain't making $1 million on OnlyFans. So if you're doing OnlyFans, you need a backup plan. That's A. But then B, there are these people, very wealthy people, who can afford, from, like I said, I think the lowest subscription is maybe like $3.95 or $5.95 a month. At least it was pre-pandemic. I don't know what's going on over there now. But pre-pandemic, $3.95, $5.95 a month subscriptions and up. I think the highest subscription maybe was like $19.95 or $29.95, but we're talking about porn stars or like girls that do anime that's going to show a little bit more than they do in their normal videos and their normal stuff. YouTubers who are going to do something a little half nude for you so you could subscribe to see that content. It's different. And buyer beware, seller beware, everybody beware, because it's going to be around for a really long time. And there are a lot of people that are subscribing to this content, wanting more. and wanting to be there every day. Some of the same faces would show up in the thread every single day, like clockwork. So somebody's watching.
I was just about to say I pulled some stats for I pulled some stats for just the people that digest PORN. In the U.S., in a U.S. sample of adults age 18 through 73, 91.5% of men and 60.2% of women report having consumed pornography in the past month, across images, videos, and written. So roughly 58% of Americans say they watched porn at some point in their lives. So I mean, the people that, you know, people are watching PORN, right? People are watching these things and indulging. Married men, married women, men, single women. Like there's a market all over the place. And so there's no way to judge, right? Married couples watch it. It's a thing, right? Of enjoyment. So there's no way we can, I mean, it's a market. It's a job. Like Sharita said, it's a job.
It's a job. But and like as well, I if you're not affecting my life and you're not harming anyone, okay, you're not harming pets, you're not harming babies, you're not harming elderly, you're not harming anyone outside of what you're doing in your own house, in your own bedroom, tain't none of my business. All right. And that's just how it is for me. It's not my business what you do behind closed doors unless you're hurting someone. That's when it becomes my problem as a human. But I want to ask you, Dr. Sabrina, because you're a business owner. And so you also have done digital as well. We all do. I mean, we all on this panel do something digitally, right? So how does digital content creation impact our identity and our personal branding? Because we talk about personal branding all the time. So these young ladies are actually kind of branding themselves too. So how does this impact them digitally, you think?
Very good question. And I think about that all the time. Prior to stepping into the space that I'm in, I was not really active on social media. The people that I talk to, I pick up the phone, I go visit them. I wasn't doing social media. Now, one of the things I have to think about is why I am doing it. And it's because I have a specific messaging. So for me, everything that I do needs to align with my messaging. So I'm one that I'm not trying to mix the message. Okay. And I do think about that because I know that we're in a space now where this stuff is going to be here long after I'm gone. And I care about my legacy. I care about my image. And there are just certain things that no judgment, Sharita, or anybody else. This is how I roll. There are certain things that I want to be remembered for because see, I don't have grandchildren yet. So, I may not have grandchildren until after I'm gone. And I don't want them to go back online and see certain things and are like, wow, look at grandma. That's how I feel. Everybody else can feel however they want to feel. That is how Dr. Sabrina feels. And so those are things that I think about. I can remember I think I was in high school maybe when Vanessa Williams was crowned the first Black Miss America that we ever had. And that was a really big moment for Black folks. We were very happy because we had never had that type of representation. Only to find just a few months later after she was crowned that the crown was taken away from her because of some decisions that she had made. Wasn't she in college when she made the choice to have these new images of herself taken? And so I think the other thing, nobody is judging, nobody is knocking, but just be ready to accept whatever may come later on as a result of the decisions that you are making right now. And as long as you're good with that and you're okay with that, then hey, I'm like you, Lala. I'm fine. You like it, I love it. And that's the way Dr. Sabrina feels.
That's the way Lala feel too. So let's check out this next video because we still diving into this. I love all the comments. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. Check this out.
Studying to be a lawyer.
Yes.
And then you start doing OnlyFans while you're at university.
Yes.
What made you get into it?
because I saw how much money other people were earning, and I was thinking, hey, I could do this too. And then it turns out I'm pretty good at getting my clothes off, and I was like, this is a career for me.
Now, see, okay, look, I've nothing against you. I'm not taking a moral view here, right? You can do what the hell you like, it's legal. I'm just disappointed that someone like you, who's obviously got a great brain, training to be a law student at university, decides to pack it all in to just take your clothes off for perfect strangers on OnlyFans. Why?
Because I wouldn't have made loads of money as a solicitor anyway. Like, I would have earned money, yes, but I earned that in 2 weeks now. And I earned that throughout uni.
How much do you make?
I'm 0.01 on OnlyFans, so I'm as top as it gets.
What does that mean?
It means you are the best of the best. 0.01%.
Best of the best of what?
OnlyFans creators in monetary terms.
Why are you so good?
Because I'm really good looking.
The average registered OnlyFans creator makes only $180 a month. That's the average. So we're not discussing Elle in that, obviously, but that is the average. Making about $2,500 a month puts you in the top 1%, which adds up to $15 an hour, which is the same or less than McDonald's pays. So oftentimes these young girls find themselves, entering sex work thinking that it's going to be financially, beneficial for them, and they end up making less than a fast food worker, but they still take on the entire stigma of being involved in sex work and oftentimes can't find employment afterwards.
What do your family think of this?
Yes, my dad is dead and my mum is on my payroll. My family are fine.
Your mum's on your payroll?
My mum is on my payroll.
In what, doing what?
Admin.
What does that mean?
It's just behind the scenes work. She doesn't do anything rude or anything.
So she loves you doing this?
Well, she doesn't praise it at the pub like, woohoo, my daughter does OnlyFans, but she's supportive. She knows that I'm over 18. I can do what the hell I want. I don't really want kids right now. But
you will do. How old are you?
25.
Right, so you will do at some stage, probably, right?
Maybe.
When you do, you're going to be proud that you have your little ones and they look at you and go, didn't you want to be a lawyer, Mummy? What happened?
Yeah.
And you go, yeah, but look at all my stuff.
They can cry in a Ferrari.
First of all,
they can cry in a Ferrari, is what she said.
They can cry in a Ferrari, but have you noticed which one they chose? The blonde hair, blue-eyed. Let that sink, because the stats go to show, as we saw earlier, there is disproportionately a thing going on with what America sees as beautiful, right? So, Joe, I'm going to ask you this. How does financial stress intersect with the mental health for these who are using these platforms? Because I want to tie into how Pierce seemed to be attacking her for her decision. Yet how I know in my heart of hearts, my man probably got an account looking at it. Okay. That's Lala's opinion. And that's just Lala's opinion.
Yeah.
But I think he's talking at both sides of his neck. And I just want to know how you think that deal with how he was kind of attacking her about, how that will affect her mental, because she did say they can cry in a Ferrari, but sometimes I wonder about that.
Well, okay, so before I even get to the financial part, let me talk about the judgment part. A lot of the discourse in our country right now is around judgment. Other people trying to control and police other people's choices. So understanding that at the core of judgment is always going to be control. The way he was needling that woman in a judgmental way is because he wants to control her choices, right? And she wasn't going for that. You might look at some financial situations and be like, I could go do this and do this type of work, which I hate, or do this, which I don't mind. It's not the greatest thing in the world, but I can make my money quicker and faster doing this. And you're mad at me because one, she's straight out. I appreciate her honesty. She's like, why are you so successful? Because I look good and I can profit off that. What am I supposed to do with this? You know what I mean? Like, that's if a sex worker walks into my office right now, do you think it's my job to try to convince them to leave sex work? Not all sex workers have traumatic backgrounds. It's not always about the trauma. Sometimes it's strictly about money. And like you just said, Lala, there's somebody on the other side of that sex work every time that does not get the same judgment as the one doing the sex work. So the financial stressors, we can, if she wants to avoid those financial stressors and she's not, no, I don't know about crying in a Ferrari. Now, you crying in a Ferrari, you need to come into the office, because why are you crying in a Ferrari? Come on in like that. But if you come into the office and you are a sex worker and you are in alignment with those decisions that you've made, like Dr. Sabrina said, that's how you roll. I'm not in judgment of that. And it's not my job as a therapist to be in judgment of you or try to convince you to be out of alignment with what makes you peaceful and what makes you happy. I'm not going to do that. But that financial stress needs to be dealt with. Okay? It needs to be dealt with. If you're just going to get money and you're doing something that makes you even more stressed just to get money, I have a problem with that.
Exactly. I think also you can also end up having post-traumatic stress from after doing all of this that nobody seems to be talking about. Like we're talking about what's popular now, but what are the ramifications of living in this life? If you are first went into it with a positive thing and then you start seeing the darker side of things. Listen, Anonymous, you're right. Hugh Hefner was also pimping. That made it glamorous, right? It was cool to be one of his chicks, right? And Sharita says men and women profit in relationships and datings from looking good. Yes, that's very true. And there's just so much to this. There's so many roots that come off of this that we have to consider. And I think the whole point is that we're trying to understand why these young people feel like this is something that should be done to make them successful. If they see the easy way, is there other ways that they can do? When they think it's easy, it may not be, because all that glitters ain't gold. Let's check this commercial out and we'll be right back.
Hello, my name is Dr. Sabrina Edmond Williams. I am a life and legacy planning strategist and the author of Learning to Trust, the Black Family's Guide for Building, Protecting, and Transferring Wealth. I'm partnering with Fly Nubian Money to teach you how to secure, protect, and properly transfer your money. On October the 4th, from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and just in time for Estate Planning Awareness Month, I'll be hosting a powerful workshop where you'll learn how to create an estate plan that keeps your family out of probate court and out of family conflict. You'll learn the steps to protect your assets and make sure your wishes are honored. And you'll learn how to build generational wealth that lasts long after you're gone. Don't wait until it's too late. Join us inside the Fly Nubian Money Club and take control of your financial future today. See you there.
Dr. Sabrina is up next. And I'm going to tell you what, you better listen to her. She got some good stuff for you. Dr. Sabrina, I'm actually going to start with you for your final thoughts, and then let us know where we can find you, and make sure you tell us a little bit more about your class.
Okay, great. This has been an eye-opening show for me, you guys. I mean, I guess I'm just totally old school. I have never, I know what OnlyFans is. I've heard of it, but I'm still really trying to envision and imagine what people are doing. I'm not curious enough to go over there and start looking around. Either way, I think we're in a time though where one of the things that we have to remember is you go, you get the money, you make the money. But sometimes, we do things and you can live to regret some of your decisions. And I say this as a person that's probably a more seasoned person. I remember being a young person and making some decisions in my life, as most of us have, that thinking back and looking back, I'm like, oh, if I could do that over again. And I think for some of the young people, even those that are making the decision to do this just for, a quick dollar or whatever, there may come a point when you do look back and wish that you had not done this, because we're living in an era now. I think one of the differences between now and maybe even when we had the era of the Players Club, we're not cameras cameras. Everything was not necessarily captured and enshrined. We could forget some stuff really happened, but now not so much. We live in this digital age, and once it's out there, it's out there. So, I want to just caution you to maybe think and rethink and talk to other people and connect yourself and surround yourself with platforms like the one that we're on, where we can give you some suggestions and advice for other ways to make money as well. If it's about the whole money aspect of it, there are other ways that you can make money. With that being said, I am Dr. Sabrina Edmond Williams, educator, author, and investor. Opening minds and closing contracts. I am so noted. And I am so excited and delighted about my upcoming appearance in the Fly Nubian Money Club. Hey, just in time for National Estate Planning Awareness Month. Join me there. I am geeked, you guys. I want to see you there. Anonymous, you come too. I want to see you there. Thank you. Have a beautiful rest of your Monday, everybody.
Listen, y'all don't miss out on that. We only bring the best of the best of the best of the best of the top of the crop. Yes, to the Fly Nubian Money Club. So you don't want to miss that. Marlo, I absolutely loved everything that you had to say today. It was very, very interesting to me. I want to hear your final thoughts and where we can find you.
So my final thought is, I would advise any young person that's looking to do this to go into it with your eyes wide open. I can't tell you not to do it because I can't tell you what to do, but what I can tell you is to be ready for pitfalls and be ready to take accountability, because ultimately anything that is unwanted that happens during your time as an OnlyFans personality, you open that Pandora's box in search of the money that was inside. So just be aware, be alert, get your money, have a plan for how you're going to get out. That's how we should be pursuing most little side hustles, including OnlyFans or, other forms of sex work. Child, do you. Can't tell you what to do because the rent is high. If you are looking to venture into OnlyFans and you want to know what name you should use, how can you optimize it without using your real name so that your parents and your neighbors and your church group can't Google you as easily to find you? Holla at the Marlo Group. I can help you get that OnlyFans platform firewall from your real life, so that we make it very easy for people to find your cooch and very hard for people to find your face. Unless you got them both popping at the same time, and then I think you don't want the anonymity. Holla at your girl.
Marlo, y'all, she know what she talking about. She know how to deliver. All right, y'all better get on that Marlo Group.
Marlo said you got to keep it separate.
Keep them separated. Love it. Joe, what is your final thoughts and where can we find you?
I'm gonna just say that, as I'm a therapist, I'm a Black man. I know how easy it is to get caught up in like trying to tell people what to do with their lives, but I just wanted people to focus on the real transformation, the real healing work, and that's when you stop letting the judgment define you. You don't have the power, the capacity to tell society to stop judging. They're gonna do that. They're gonna do that. So we have to just expand our ability to stand in who we are and be authentically who we are, and not let that judgment piss you off as much as it has been. So, if it's money, relationships, whatever it is, identity, nobody's perfect. Just be in alignment, you know what I mean? And just find the courage to be like, look, this is who I am. This is what I'm doing. I'm enough doing what I'm doing, and I'm going to build my future from being me. So when we move from that control and that shame to that alignment with your authenticity, then that's when we move from survival mode to thriving. And I keep saying that. I keep saying the same stuff over and over again because I really, really mean it, y'all. And you can find me at the website listed right there. And we'll talk about it. You know what I mean? Like I said, it's not my place to tell you how to be, other than just be yourself.
Absolutely love that. And Joe means it when he says that. So please reach out to him at realuconsulting.com because he's not judging. He's helping you to be the best you. And sometimes you do need a little bit of guidance because you feel a little lost, right? Now, listen, Tiara, I would love to hear your final thoughts, but we actually have people who want to know how they also can sign up for the Fly Nubian Money Club. So can you throw that in there too?
Definitely, you can go to flynubianmoneyclub.com and sign up that way. You can text the word Queens to 87948 and receive notifications, and then subscribe that way as well. So, flynubianmoneyclub.com, or if you text Queens, you'll receive a notification to sign up. Yeah. Okay. Well, let me try to do this in 45 seconds or less because I be talking crap in the back. Like, hurry up. Anyway, I'm just thinking about my own daughter and how sometimes I don't judge my daughter, but when she's like, "Oh my God, I have anxiety, I'm so depressed," and whatever, I'd be like, "Girl, I've been through worse." Trying to compare what I experienced in the 90s to what she's experiencing in the 225s. And it is different. It is hard for our children. So I would say if you have a niece, you have a kid, make sure that you are talking to a nephew. Make sure you're talking to them if they're 25 and under. I think they need mentorship more than ever because there's a lot of influence online that we didn't have to deal with, and people are influencing them to go in so many directions. I mean, if I was that age, I think I would be overwhelmed by all of the voices in the air, when really all we had in our days was our parents. We had our friends at school. We just didn't have all the outside noise. So I think it's important that we pay attention to that. So I'll just say that my heart goes out to this young lady because I know mentally she's just struggling, but I do just think about our kids and I want them to be okay. And I know it's much harder with the addiction to social media, the addiction, worried about what other people think, us not having enough money, not enough jobs for them. I mean, there's all kind of things really happening right now, and it's really scary. So mentor a kid today. My name is Tiara Williams. I'm also known as Miss Black Hollywood. I'm also known as Carmen J. And I am a storyteller at heart. I am currently actually doing the Fly Nubian Money Club event with Dr. Sabrina. I'll promote that today. And we just want you to, like I said, come on Saturday and, learn a little something. Come on in the room because, learn how to make some money and not, if you need to do it on OnlyFans, that's all right. But we're going to teach you how to keep that money, make that money. Don't let that money make you, Diamond. You know what I'm saying? So come on through. We love y'all. We love you.
And listen, Tiara does absolutely wonderful with storytelling, as her album does show. So you better jump on in there with that Karma J because she got a story to tell. Now listen, here's my final thoughts. Like I said earlier, I don't care what you do as long as you're not hurting anybody else. And don't force whatever you're doing down my throat and expect me to accept it at all times. Listen, we all have our own hangups. We all have our own beliefs. We all come from different backgrounds. Whatever you choose to do to be best at it, just as long as you don't force other people to be hurt by it. Listen, this world is here. We are living in the midst of confusion. If we thought it was a ball of confusion before, it's more so now. So why don't you practice being a better human? Because we need more humans out here than opinions and oppression. Now, listen, with that being said, if you want to get out of the United States, if you want to see the world, because guess what, guys? This is the topic for America. In other parts of the world, not so much, right? You're just getting fed what you always are being fed in one little stall. Why don't you get out and see the world? And I have a beautiful, beautiful quiz to help you do that on my website, laurakey.net, to help you start thinking outside the box and moving abroad. We want to say thank you to everyone who was here. This was a really great conversation. We had Keisha, we had Anonymous, Armando, Black Lexicon, Sharita, welcome today. You really did help the conversation. Welcome. We also had Deborah, and we always have Deborah. We love you, B1. And we have so many people that help make our show successful because of you. You keep the conversation going. So we want to start off the week by saying that we're grateful for you and we are thankful for you. We mean that from the bottom of our hearts. Now, listen, platforms like OnlyFans are changing how people are thinking about work, independence, and money. But while this route offers flexibility and autonomy, it's not without risk. Understanding the benefits and limitations helps students make smarter financial choices and plan for sustainability, long-term growth, which is what we're also doing with the Fly Nubian Money Club. So thank you for joining us today. We are here Monday through Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're also on Spotify. So make sure that you go to Spotify and download our show. But if you don't want to miss any of it, just text the word Queens, Queens, to 87948. And we wish you a blessed day. We will see you tomorrow. Peace out.
Some people, like, they don't understand that not everything is for them. Like, not everybody's gonna succeed doing everything that they try. Like, your OnlyFans is not gonna go, I don't know. Why would you drop out on your last semester of school? Last semester of college, you're gonna drop out of college to start an OnlyFans. I'm not here to say anybody is chopped, but not every profession is for everybody. If you don't have 50,000, 100,000 followers on Instagram already just off looks alone, what makes you think anyone's gonna subscribe to that OnlyFans? Like, you're half a year away from an education, and you're gonna throw it all away and ruin your reputation for the rest of your life. And people probably they're not gonna buy it. I know a couple people that have started unsuccessful businesses, all right? And they're like, oh, everybody gonna buy it. No. You have to put it on sale for $3. They still not buying it.